My name is Clara Thompson, and I reside in the charming suburban town of Maplewood, nestled just outside of Chicago. At 42, I've built a life that many would envy. A comfortable home with a sprawling garden, a supportive husband, and a close-knit community. My husband, Daniel Thompson, works diligently as a financial analyst at a local bank. Our life together is orderly and predictable, filled with the rhythms of daily routines and shared responsibilities. Despite the outward appearance of happiness, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. The spark that once ignited our relationship seemed to have dimmed over the years, replaced by a comfortable complacency. Daniel is a loving and dedicated husband, always putting our family first, but his long hours at the bank often left little room for us to reconnect. I found solace in tending to our garden, nurturing each plant with care, and dreaming of a life filled with more passion and spontaneity. Living next door is Ethan Harris, a charismatic and free-spirited artist who moved to Maplewood about 6 months ago. His home is a stark contrast to ours. Vibrant colors splash across the exterior, and his garden is a wild, creative explosion of plants and sculptures. Ethan's presence brings a breath of fresh air to the neighborhood, and his outgoing nature makes him a favorite among our friends and neighbors. Our first real interaction happened one sunny Saturday morning. I was tending to my roses when I noticed Ethan struggling with a particularly stubborn shrub. Without thinking, I walked over to offer my assistance. "Need a hand there?" I asked, extending my gardening gloves. Ethan looked up, a grateful smile spreading across his face. "Thanks, Clara. These things just don't cooperate sometimes." As we worked side by side, we fell into an easy conversation about gardening techniques, favorite flowers, and the joys of nurturing life from the soil. Days turned into weeks, and our casual encounters blossomed into meaningful conversations. Ethan would often stop by to chat about his latest art projects or seek advice on his garden. There was something undeniably magnetic about him. His passion for creativity and his zest for life ignited a longing within me that I hadn't realized I possessed. One evening, after a particularly long day at the bank, Daniel came home late, exhausted but happy to see me. We sat down for a quiet dinner, but my mind was elsewhere, replaying the moments I'd spent with Ethan. I tried to push the thoughts aside, convincing myself that it was just admiration for a neighbor's talent. However, the more I interacted with Ethan, the harder it became to deny the growing attraction. One Friday night, Daniel was out with his colleagues, leaving me alone at home. The house was silent, save for the gentle hum of the refrigerator and the distant sounds of traffic. I decided to invite Ethan over for a glass of wine and a chat. It felt natural, an extension of our budding friendship. When Ethan arrived, his presence filled the room with an energy that was both exhilarating and unsettling. We talked about everything from art to our personal dreams, delving deeper into conversations that neither of us had expected. The connection was undeniable, a magnetic pull that drew us closer with each passing minute. As the night wore on, the atmosphere became charged with an unspoken tension. I found myself laughing more freely, sharing thoughts and feelings I had long kept buried. Ethan's eyes sparkled with genuine interest, making me feel seen and appreciated in ways that had become rare in my marriage. Before I knew it, the distance between us had closed, and Ethan gently reached out to brush a strand of hair behind my ear. The simple gesture sent a jolt through me, awakening desires I had tried so hard to ignore. I felt torn between the stability of my marriage and the intoxicating allure of this newfound connection. That night marked the beginning of a series of encounters that would forever alter the course of my life. Ethan and I found ourselves drawn together, unable to resist the magnetic force pulling us towards each other. Our meetings became more frequent, each one blurring the lines between friendship and something deeper. One particularly intense evening, after attending a local art exhibition with Ethan, we returned to his house. The night was warm, and the garden was illuminated by soft fairy lights. As we stood outside, the air thick with unspoken emotions, Ethan turned to me, his voice barely above a whisper. "Clara, I can't keep doing this," he confessed, his eyes searching mine for understanding. "I know you're married and I respect that, But I can't deny my feelings any longer. My heart raced, torn between guilt and longing. I wanted to reach out to comfort him, but the weight of my commitments anchored me firmly in place. Ethan, I care about you deeply, but I don't know how to navigate this without hurting Daniel. He took a step closer, his hand gently cupping my face. Maybe we don't have to choose. Maybe there's a way for all of us to find happiness together. In that moment, a dangerous idea took root in my mind. Could it be possible to love two people at once without tearing everything apart? The thought was both thrilling and terrifying, a path that promised passion but also potential devastation. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions and conflicting desires. Daniel remained oblivious to the storm brewing just beyond our front door, completely absorbed in his demanding job at the bank. Meanwhile, Ethan and I navigated the delicate balance of our growing attraction, trying to keep our feelings in check while denying the undeniable connection between us. One afternoon, while tending to my garden, Daniel suggested that we try something new to rekindle the spark in our marriage. Maybe we should take a cooking class together, he proposed, smiling warmly. It could be fun, something different for us to share. I nodded, appreciating his effort to reach out. But as the days passed, I found myself increasingly preoccupied with thoughts of Ethan. Our secret meetings became the highlight of my days, a thrilling escape from the monotony of my routine. I reveled in the stolen moments, the subtle touches, and the shared laughter that seemed to breathe life back into my weary soul. One evening, as I was preparing dinner, Ethan showed up unexpectedly. His presence was a comforting reminder of the excitement that had become a constant in my life. We cooked together, the kitchen filled with the tantalizing aromas of spices and herbs. The easy camaraderie between us made me forget, if only for a moment, the complications that our relationship entailed. As we sat down to eat, Ethan's eyes met mine, filled with a mix of longing and uncertainty. "Clara, have you ever thought about what it would be like if we tried to make this work? Not just as friends, but something more?" he asked, his voice tinged with vulnerability. I took a deep breath, the truth of my feelings weighing heavily on me. "I've thought about it a lot, Ethan. But I love Daniel, and I don't want to hurt him. It's complicated." He reached across the table, his hand brushing against mine in a gesture that felt both intimate and forbidden. "I understand. But maybe we could find a way to share our lives without anyone getting hurt." The idea was bold, unconventional, and entirely risky. I knew that venturing down this path could lead to unforeseen consequences, yet the allure of experiencing a deeper connection with Ethan was irresistible. The more time Ethan and I spent together, the harder it became to maintain the facade of a platonic friendship. One night, after a late dinner at Ethan's place, the air was thick with tension. We found ourselves alone in his studio, surrounded by unfinished canvases and the lingering scent of paint. "Clara, I can't stop thinking about you," Ethan confessed, his voice husky with emotion. "Every moment we spend together feels like a glimpse into a life I never knew I wanted." I felt a surge of emotions, desire, fear, confusion, all battling within me. "Ethan, this is tearing me apart," I whispered, my voice cracking under the weight of my conflicting feelings. He stepped closer, closing the distance between us. "Maybe it's time to stop fighting it," he urged, his eyes searching mine for a sign of reciprocation. In a moment of surrender, I leaned into him, our lips meeting in a kiss that was both passionate and heartbreaking. The world seemed to fade away as we lost ourselves in each other, unaware of the repercussions that awaited us. The aftermath of that night was a minefield of emotions and strained interactions. Daniel began to sense that something was amiss, his intuition telling him that my heart was no longer entirely his. I struggled to keep up appearances, masking my turmoil behind a facade of normalcy. But the truth was, I was living a double life, caught between the love I had for my husband and the burgeoning passion I felt for Ethan. One evening, Daniel confronted me, his eyes filled with concern and suspicion. "Clara, you've been distant lately. I know something's bothering you. Please talk to me." Tears welled up in my eyes as I grappled with the decision I had to make. Should I come clean about my feelings for 𝐸𝐸𝐻, risking the stability of my marriage, or should I continue to deny my true emotions, living a life half-heartedly? As I sat on the edge of our bed, the weight of my choices pressing down on me, I realized that the path I had chosen was leading me further away from the life I had always known. The lines between right and wrong, love and desire, were becoming increasingly blurred, and I couldn't find my way back. The tension in our household grew palpable as the weeks went by. Daniel's unease was evident in his lingering glances and the quiet way he tried to reach out, seeking to bridge the growing gap between us. 𝐸𝐸𝐻 and I, too, felt the strain of maintaining our secret connection while attempting to navigate the complexities of our evolving relationship. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves painted our garden in shades of gold and crimson, 𝐸𝐸𝐻 invited me over for dinner. The invitation was more intimate than usual, and I couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and dread. As I walked through the gate and approached his home, the familiar warmth of his presence enveloped me, offering a fleeting sense of comfort amidst the chaos of my emotions. Inside, the house was a blend of artistic chaos and homely comfort. 𝐸𝐸𝐻 had prepared a candlelit dinner, the table adorned with an array of colorful dishes that tantalized the senses. We ate, laughed, and reminisced about the journey we had embarked upon together, a journey filled with stolen moments and hidden desires. After dinner, as we sat together on the patio, the conversation took a serious turn. "Clara," 𝐸𝐸𝐻 began, his tone earnest, "I've been thinking a lot about our situation. We're both in love with you, and I can see that Daniel still cares for you deeply. But how do we move forward without causing irreparable damage?" I sighed, the weight of his words pressing down on me. "I don't know, 𝐸𝐸𝐻. I love Daniel, but I can't deny my feelings for you either. It feels like I'm being pulled in two different directions, and I don't know how to choose." 𝐸𝐸𝐻 reached out, taking my hand in his. "Maybe we don't have to choose. Maybe there's a way for us to all coexist peacefully, without anyone feeling neglected or hurt." His proposition was daring and unconventional, challenging the very foundations of our traditional relationships. The idea of living as a trio was both thrilling and terrifying, promising a blend of love and companionship that defied societal norms. Yet, the fear of losing everything I had built kept me grounded in doubt. As autumn gave way to winter, the concept of a polyamorous relationship loomed over us like a silent storm. Daniel remained unaware of the full extent of my feelings, though his intuition suggested otherwise. 𝐸𝐸𝐻 and I continued our clandestine meetings, the intensity of our connection growing with each passing day. One snowy evening, I found myself torn between two worlds. Daniel had planned a quiet dinner for just the two of us, hoping to rekindle the spark that had dimmed over the years. Meanwhile, 𝐸𝐸𝐻 had invited me to his studio for a special project, a painting we would create together, symbolizing our complex emotions. As the night unfolded, I realized that maintaining both relationships was becoming increasingly unsustainable. The constant juggling act was draining me, leaving me emotionally and physically exhausted. The guilt of leading Daniel on while simultaneously pursuing a deeper connection with 𝐸𝐸𝐻 gnawed at my conscience, but the allure of the forbidden remained irresistible. One particularly challenging evening, after a heated argument between 𝐸𝐸𝐻 and me about the future of our relationship, a new layer of complexity was added to our already fragile alliance. I had struggled to communicate my feelings clearly, leading to misunderstandings and hurt feelings on both sides. As I sat alone in my room, trying to process the fallout of our argument, there was a knock at the door. To my surprise, it was Daniel. His presence in the house was both comforting and intimidating, a reminder of the life I was trying to balance. "I need to talk to you, Clara," he said softly. His eyes filled with a mixture of concern and determination. "I can see that something is wrong. Please just talk to me." His sincerity moved me deeply, and I realized that hiding from him any longer was no longer an option. Taking a deep breath, I decided to come clean about the turmoil I was experiencing. Gathering my courage, I confessed to Daniel about my emotional connection with 𝐸𝐸𝐻. The words felt heavy on my tongue, each one a step further away from the life we had built together. "Daniel, I love you. You know that. But I also have feelings for Ethan. I don't know how to handle it, and I don't want to hurt you, but I can't keep pretending that everything is okay." The silence that followed was deafening. Daniel looked at me. His eyes filled with a storm of emotions: shock, hurt, and a lingering hope that perhaps we could find a way to overcome this together. "I love you too, Clara," he whispered, his voice trembling. "And I don't want to lose you. If there's a way for us to navigate this, I'm willing to try." In the midst of our conversation, Ethan arrived unexpectedly, sensing the tension between us. His presence added another layer of complexity to our already tangled emotions. Without missing a beat, Daniel turned to Ethan and proposed an unconventional solution. "Maybe there's a way for us all to be together," Daniel suggested. His voice steady despite the turmoil inside him. "I don't want to lose either of you, and perhaps living together could help us understand and support each other better." Ethan was taken aback by the proposal, while I felt a whirlwind of emotions: hope, fear, and uncertainty. The idea of living as a trio was something I had never imagined, yet the possibility of sharing my love without having to choose was strangely appealing. After much deliberation and emotional conversations, we decided to give it a try. We moved in together, establishing boundaries and rules to ensure that everyone felt respected and valued. The initial period was a delicate balancing act, filled with both beautiful moments of connection and painful instances of jealousy and insecurity. One evening, as we sat together in the living room, the air was thick with unspoken emotions. Daniel reached out and took my hand, his touch gentle and reassuring. Ethan sat beside us, his presence a constant reminder of the delicate harmony we were striving to maintain. However, the reality of our arrangement soon revealed its challenges. The strain of sharing my attention and affection between two men began to wear me down. Felix and Ethan, though initially supportive, started to develop their own dynamics, leading to moments of tension and unexpected attraction between them. The complexity of our relationships deepened, making it increasingly difficult to keep everything in balance. As the months progressed, the strain of our unconventional arrangement began to take its toll on all of us. Living together meant that our emotions were always on display, and the lines between friendship, love, and rivalry became increasingly blurred. The initial excitement that had fueled our decision to live as a trio started to wane, replaced by frustration and resentment. One winter night, the house was enveloped in a heavy silence, broken only by the occasional crackle of the fireplace. I found myself sitting alone in the living room, reflecting on the state of our relationships. The once harmonious balance had become a fragile equilibrium, easily tipped by the slightest misstep. Felix and Ethan were upstairs, each lost in their own thoughts. The distance between them had grown, their interactions becoming curt and strained. I knew that something was amiss, but I wasn't sure how to address it without causing further rifts. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen, followed by raised voices. I rushed downstairs to find Ethan standing by the stove, a pan of burnt food in his hands, while Felix stood opposite him, frustration etched on his face. "You're always messing things up," Felix shouted, his voice breaking. "I can't believe how careless you are, Ethan," Ethan retorted. "And you're always so controlling, Felix. Can't you let things go for once?" I stepped between them, trying to defuse the situation. "Guys, please calm down. It's just a mistake. We can fix it." But the damage was already done. The argument highlighted the underlying tensions that had been building for months, tensions that our living arrangement had only magnified. I realized that our attempt to blend our lives together was proving to be unsustainable, each of us grappling with our own insecurities and desires. In the aftermath of the heated argument, I sought solace in my garden, the one place where I felt truly at peace. As I knelt among the roses, tending to the flowers that had always been my refuge, I felt a hand gently brush against mine. I looked up to see Daniel standing beside me, his eyes filled with a mix of concern and empathy. "Clara, are you okay?" he asked softly, taking a seat beside me. I sighed, the weight of my emotions pressing down on me. "I don't know, Daniel. This whole situation is tearing me apart. I thought I could handle loving both of you, but it's becoming too much." He reached out, wrapping an arm around my shoulder. "You don't have to do this alone. Maybe we need to rethink how we're handling things. Find a way that doesn't leave anyone feeling neglected or hurt." His words resonated deeply, and I realized that our attempts to force a polyamorous relationship were only causing more pain. The love I had for Daniel was undeniable, but so was the connection I felt with Ethan. Yet, trying to sustain both was proving to be an impossible feat. One chilly evening, as the first snowflakes began to fall, I found myself standing at a crossroads. The strain of living as a trio had become unbearable, and I knew that something had to give. The realization that our love was spreading too thin was both heartbreaking and liberating. I called a meeting with Felix and Ethan, determined to address the mounting tensions head-on. We sat together in the living room, the air thick with anticipation and unspoken fears. "I think we need to make a decision," I began, my voice trembling slightly. "This arrangement isn't working for any of us. We're all hurting, and it's clear that trying to split our love is causing more harm than good." Felix looked pained, while Ethan seemed contemplative. The room was heavy with the weight of our shared dilemma, and I knew that whatever decision we made would have lasting repercussions. After a long pause, Felix spoke up, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "I love you, Clara, and I don't want to lose you. But I also can't keep living like this, constantly battling my own feelings and seeing you struggle." Ethan nodded in agreement. "I care about both of you, and I don't want to be the cause of your pain. Maybe it's time for me to step back and let you two find your way." Their words struck a chord within me, and I felt a mixture of relief and sorrow wash over me. The love that had brought us together was now driving us apart, each of us seeking a path to happiness that didn't involve shared relationships. The decision was made. I would leave the trio, giving Felix and Ethan the space they needed to heal and find their own happiness. The night before my departure was filled with a bittersweet mix of emotions. We sat together in the living room, the silence between us speaking volumes. "Clara, we're going to miss you," Felix said quietly, his eyes reflecting the pain he felt. Ethan reached out, taking my hand gently. "Thank you for trying, for giving us a chance. I hope you find the happiness you deserve." Tears welled up in my eyes as I nodded. "I'm sorry for the hurt I've caused. I never wanted things to end like this. But I need to find my own path, to discover who I am outside of this complicated situation." We hugged one last time, the farewell filled with unspoken apologies and hopes for the future. As I packed my belongings and prepared to leave, I felt a sense of liberation mixed with an ache in my heart. The life I had known was changing, and I was stepping into the unknown, unsure of what lay ahead. Leaving Felix and Ethan was one of the most challenging decisions I had ever made. The memories we had created together were etched deeply into my heart, and the void left by my departure was both physical and emotional. I moved into a small apartment in downtown Chicago, seeking anonymity and a fresh start. The bustling city was a stark contrast to the peaceful suburb of Maplewood, and I hoped that the vibrant energy of the metropolis would help me rediscover myself. As winter gave way to spring, I immersed myself in the city's dynamic culture. I spent my days exploring art galleries, attending workshops, and reconnecting with friends I hadn't seen in years. One afternoon, while attending a painting class at a local community center, I met Elena Martinez, a vivacious and creative woman with a passion for the arts that rivaled my own. Elena was everything I needed. Her laughter was infectious, her perspective on life refreshing, and her warmth comforting. We quickly formed a deep connection, our conversations flowing effortlessly from one topic to another. She understood the complexities of love and relationships in a way that resonated with me, offering a sense of understanding and acceptance that I had longed for. Our friendship blossomed into something more profound as we spent more time together. We attended art exhibits, visited botanical gardens, and shared countless cups of coffee over endless conversations. Elena's presence in my life was a beacon of light, guiding me towards self-discovery and healing. One evening, as we walked along the Chicago River, the city lights reflecting on the water, 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 turned to me with a thoughtful expression. Clara, have you ever considered that love doesn't have to fit into a conventional mold? Maybe finding happiness means embracing what feels right for you, even if it's different from what society expects. Her words struck a chord deep within me. For so long, I had felt constrained by the traditional expectations of marriage and relationships. But now, with 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 by my side, I began to realize that my happiness was not limited by societal norms. I could explore love in a way that felt authentic and true to myself. As spring turned into summer, my relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 deepened. We supported each other through the ups and downs of life, our bond strengthening with each passing day. It wasn't long before I found myself falling in love with her, a love that was different, yet just as real and powerful as the one I had shared with Felix. One warm summer evening, we attended an outdoor concert at Millennium Park. The music was lively, the atmosphere electric with energy and joy. As the band played our favorite song, 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 took my hand, pulling me onto the dance floor. The city around us seemed to blur, leaving just the two of us swaying to the rhythm, lost in the moment. After the concert, we walked hand in hand through the park, the sounds of the city fading into the background. Under the canopy of stars, 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 turned to me, her eyes shining with emotion. Clara, I've never felt this way before. Being with you feels like coming home. Tears welled up in my eyes as I leaned into her embrace. I've been searching for something I couldn't quite define, and now I realize what it is. Thank you for being here, for helping me find myself again. With 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿's support, I embraced my newfound love and the changes it brought to my life. Our relationship was filled with passion, understanding, and a deep sense of companionship. We celebrated our love openly, no longer hiding from the world but embracing our connection with pride and joy. Meanwhile, back in Maplewood, Felix and 𝐸𝐸𝐿 were navigating their own journey. Without me in the picture, they were left to redefine their relationship and their roles within it. Surprisingly, a new dynamic began to emerge between them. What had once been a rivalry over my affection slowly transformed into a genuine friendship, and eventually something more. One autumn afternoon, while catching up over coffee, Felix shared some surprising news. 𝐸𝐸𝐿 and I have been talking, and we've realized that there's something between us that we can't ignore anymore. I never thought this would happen, but I think we're developing feelings for each other. 𝐸𝐸𝐿 nodded, his expression thoughtful. It's something we never anticipated, but we can't deny the connection we have. It's different, but it's real. Their revelation took me by surprise, and I felt a mix of emotions. Joy for their happiness, sadness for the unintended role I had played in their relationship, and a deep sense of closure for myself. It was a testament to the unpredictable nature of love, how it could evolve and transform in ways none of us could foresee. As time went on, our lives continued to change and adapt. 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐿 and I decided to move into a shared apartment, further solidifying our commitment to each other. Our love story was one of second chances and rediscovery, a journey that led us to each other when we needed it most. Felix and 𝐸𝐸𝐿 embraced their new relationship, finding solace and happiness in each other's company. The past was not forgotten, but it was no longer a barrier to their present joy. We all found peace in our respective paths, understanding that love is not a finite resource but something that can expand and grow in unexpected ways. Reflecting on our intertwined lives, I sought the insights of a professional psychologist, Dr. Rebecca Lawson, who specialized in relationship dynamics and unconventional love models. Her analysis provided clarity and understanding of the complex emotions and decisions we had navigated. Clara's journey illustrates the intricate nature of human emotions and the challenges of maintaining multiple relationships, Dr. Lawson explained during one of our sessions. Her initial attempt to balance her love for Daniel and her attraction to 𝐸𝐸𝐿 created a fragile dynamic that was unsustainable. The decision to form a polyamorous relationship, while well-intentioned, ultimately led to emotional exhaustion and conflict. She continued, "Polyamory requires a high level of communication, trust, and emotional resilience. In Clara's case, the lack of clear boundaries and the unspoken tensions between all parties made it difficult to maintain harmony. It's crucial for individuals in such relationships to openly discuss their needs and expectations to prevent misunderstandings and resentment. Dr. Lawson also highlighted the importance of self-discovery and personal growth, which Clara found through her relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤. Clara's decision to leave the trio and pursue a relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤 was a pivotal moment of self-empowerment. It allowed her to explore her true desires and redefine her understanding of love and happiness. As I look back on the past year, I recognize the profound transformations that have shaped our lives. The journey was fraught with pain, confusion, and difficult choices, but it also led to self-discovery, authentic connections, and a deeper understanding of love's boundless nature. Felix and Ethan found happiness in each other, proving that love can evolve and adapt beyond traditional confines. 𝐤𝐤𝐤 and I built a life together filled with passion, creativity, and unwavering support. And I learned that sometimes, the most challenging paths lead us to the most rewarding destinations. Our stories serve as a reminder that love is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It's a dynamic, ever-changing force that can manifest in myriad ways, each unique and valid in its own right. Embracing the complexities and uncertainties of love allows us to grow, heal, and ultimately find the happiness we seek. The newfound peace in our lives was both refreshing and challenging. 𝐤𝐤𝐤 and I thrived in our relationship, our bond growing stronger with each passing day. Our love was different from what I had experienced with Daniel, but it was no less profound or fulfilling. Meanwhile, Felix and Ethan were navigating the complexities of their own evolving relationship, finding unexpected comfort and connection in each other. One summer evening, as the sun set over Maplewood, I received an invitation to an art exhibition hosted by Ethan. Although I had moved away, our friendship remained intact, and I wanted to support him in his new relationship. When I arrived, the gallery was filled with vibrant artwork, each piece a testament to Ethan's creative spirit. Felix and Ethan greeted me warmly, their camaraderie evident. We spent the evening admiring the paintings, reminiscing about the past, and celebrating the new chapters in our lives. The atmosphere was light and joyful, a stark contrast to the tensions that had once plagued our household. As the night progressed, Ethan and Felix found themselves engrossed in a deep conversation about art and creativity. I watched them interact, noticing the ease and understanding that had developed between them. It was clear that their relationship was blossoming, built on mutual respect and shared interests. Later that evening, as the gallery began to empty, I found myself alone with Felix and Ethan in a quiet corner. The three of us sat together. The only sound was the soft hum of conversation from other guests. It was a peaceful moment, a chance to reflect on the journey we had all undertaken. Felix looked at me with a thoughtful expression. "Clara, I want you to know that we're happy for you and 𝐤𝐤𝐤. You found something beautiful, and we're grateful for the time we had together." Ethan nodded in agreement. "Yes, Clara. Our relationships have changed, but I think it's for the best. We've all grown, and I believe we can continue to support each other in our new ways." Their words were sincere, and I felt a sense of closure wash over me. The past had been tumultuous, but it had also led us to where we were now, each of us finding our own paths to happiness. As weeks turned into months, our relationships continued to evolve. 𝐤𝐤𝐤 and I thrived in our partnership, our love growing deeper and more resilient with each passing day. Our shared experiences and mutual support created a strong foundation that allowed us to navigate life's challenges together. Felix and Ethan's relationship, too, flourished. They found joy in their shared interests, attending art shows together and spending weekends exploring the city's cultural offerings. Their bond was built on trust and understanding, a testament to their willingness to embrace change and redefine their connection. However, not all of our neighbors were as accepting of our unconventional relationships. Some expressed discomfort or disapproval, unable to comprehend the fluidity of our connections. But those who truly knew us supported our choices, recognizing the authenticity and love that underpinned our relationships. One autumn afternoon, as I was preparing a meal with 𝐤𝐤𝐤, she expressed a concern that had been weighing on her mind. "Clara, I've been thinking about how we can further support each other and our community. Maybe we could start a local art workshop or a gardening club. What do you think?" Her idea resonated with me, and we began to brainstorm ways to give back to the community that had supported us through our personal transformations. Establishing these initiatives not only strengthened our bond but also provided a sense of purpose and fulfillment. One chilly evening, Felix reached out to me, inviting me to dinner at his home. It had been months since I had last seen him, and I felt a mix of nostalgia and curiosity about how things had changed between us. When I arrived, Felix greeted me with a warm smile. "Clara, it's so good to see you. How have you and 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤 been?" I smiled in return, feeling a sense of comfort in his presence. "We're doing well, thank you. We've been keeping busy with our projects and enjoying each other's company." As we sat down to dinner, the conversation flowed effortlessly, touching on our lives, our challenges, and our triumphs. It felt like old times, yet there was a newfound respect and understanding between us. The past had shaped us, but it no longer defined us. A few weeks later, as winter descended upon Maplewood, I found myself reflecting on the journey we had all undertaken. The decisions we had made, the love we had shared, and the growth we had experienced had led us to a place of acceptance and peace. One snowy evening, as I sat by the window sipping hot cocoa, I received a call from Dr. Rebecca Lawson. She had reviewed my case and wanted to discuss my progress. "Clara, you've come a long way," she said warmly. "Your ability to navigate such complex emotions and relationships is commendable. It's clear that you've found strength in your new relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤, and you've helped Felix and 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 find their own happiness as well." I felt a surge of gratitude for her guidance. "Thank you, Dr. Lawson. It hasn't been easy, but I'm learning to embrace the changes and find peace within myself." As spring approached once more, bringing new life and hope, I felt a sense of accomplishment and contentment. 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤 and I continued to build our life together, our love growing stronger with each passing day. Felix and 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 thrived in their relationship, finding joy and fulfillment in each other's company. Our lives had taken unexpected turns, but each twist and turn had led us to a place of greater understanding and happiness. We had all learned that love is not a finite resource but something that can expand and adapt in beautiful, unforeseen ways. Dr. Lawson's insights had provided me with a deeper understanding of the complexities of love and relationships. Her guidance helped me navigate the emotional labyrinth I had found myself in, offering clarity and perspective during the most challenging moments. "Clara's journey is a testament to the resilience of the human heart," Dr. Lawson remarked during our final session. She embraced her authentic self and found love in a way that was true to her needs and desires. Her story highlights the importance of self-discovery and the courage to pursue happiness, even when it defies conventional expectations. With newfound confidence and self-awareness, I embraced my authentic self and the love that had brought 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤 and me together. Our relationship was a beacon of hope and a model of what true love could look like when free from societal constraints. Felix and 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸's bond also served as a reminder that love can evolve and transform, finding new expressions and depths beyond what we initially imagined. Our intertwined lives had taught us valuable lessons about communication, trust, and the limitless possibilities of love. As I stood in my garden one spring morning, watching the flowers bloom under 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐤's tender care, I felt a profound sense of gratitude. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but it had ultimately led me to a place of fulfillment and joy. Our stories continue to unfold, each day bringing new opportunities for growth and connection. Maplewood and Chicago remain the backdrops to our lives, each holding memories of love, loss, and the enduring power of the human spirit to adapt and thrive. As I navigated the complexities of my relationships and personal growth, seeking professional guidance was instrumental in understanding the emotional dynamics at play. Dr. Rebecca Lawson, a seasoned psychologist specializing in relationship dynamics and alternative love models, provided invaluable insights that helped me make sense of the intricate web of emotions that had defined my journey. During one of our sessions, Dr. Lawson provided a comprehensive analysis of my experiences, shedding light on the underlying psychological factors that influenced my decisions and emotional state. "Clara, your journey is a profound example of how love can transcend traditional boundaries," Dr. Lawson began, her voice calm and measured. You've navigated the delicate balance between your commitment to Daniel and your deepening connection with Ethan, all while discovering a new dimension of love with 𝐤𝐤𝐤. This journey underscores the complexity of human emotions and the capacity for growth and adaptation. She continued, polyamorous relationships like the one you attempted to maintain require a high level of communication, trust, and emotional resilience. In your case, the initial excitement and novelty were overshadowed by the practical challenges of balancing multiple emotional investments. The resulting tension and conflict are not uncommon in such arrangements, especially when clear boundaries and mutual understanding are lacking. Dr. Lawson emphasized the importance of understanding and honoring one's own emotional needs. Clara, it's essential to recognize that your happiness and well-being are paramount. While you sought to preserve your marriage by attempting a polyamorous arrangement, it became clear that this structure was unsustainable for all parties involved. Your decision to prioritize your authentic feelings and pursue a relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤 was a necessary step towards self-fulfillment. She explained how self-discovery and personal growth played crucial roles in finding one's true path. Through your relationship with 𝐤𝐤𝐤, you've embraced a new aspect of your identity and allowed yourself the freedom to love in a way that feels genuine and fulfilling. This is a significant step in your personal development, enabling you to create a life that aligns with your true desires and values. Dr. Lawson also addressed the broader implications of unconventional relationships, offering guidance for others who might find themselves in similar situations. For individuals considering or already engaged in polyamorous relationships, she advised, it's crucial to establish clear communication channels and set firm boundaries. All parties involved must be willing to engage in open, honest dialogue about their feelings, expectations, and concerns. Regular check-ins and a commitment to addressing issues as they arise can help maintain a healthy dynamic. She highlighted the challenges and rewards of such relationships. While polyamory can offer a deeper sense of connection and emotional support, it also requires navigating jealousy, insecurity, and the fear of losing one's sense of identity. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and it demands a high level of emotional intelligence and maturity from everyone involved. One of the key takeaways from our sessions was the importance of self-compassion and self-care. Dr. Lawson stressed that, Clara, throughout your journey, you've demonstrated immense courage and resilience. It's vital to be kind to yourself and acknowledge the emotional labor you've invested in these relationships. Healing and personal growth are ongoing processes, and giving yourself permission to prioritize your well-being is essential. Dr. Lawson concluded our final session with some heartfelt recommendations, aimed at fostering continued personal growth and healthy relationships. Clara, moving forward, continue to embrace your authentic self and nurture the relationships that bring you joy and fulfillment, she advised. Maintain open lines of communication with those you care about, and don't hesitate to seek support when needed. Remember that love is a dynamic, ever-evolving force, and your journey is a testament to the resilience of the human heart. As I reflect on the past year, I realize how far I've come. From the turmoil of trying to balance my love for Daniel and Ethan, to finding true happiness with 𝐤𝐤𝐤, my journey has been one of immense growth and self-discovery. The challenges we faced as a trio taught me valuable lessons about communication, boundaries, and the importance of honoring my own needs. Felix and Ethan's relationship blossomed in ways I hadn't anticipated, proving that love can take on many forms and evolve beyond traditional expectations. Our interactions became more harmonious, and the bond between them was a testament to the strength of their connection. 𝐤𝐤𝐤 and I continued to build our life together, our love deepening with each passing day. We supported each other through the highs and lows, finding joy in our shared passions and comfort in our unwavering support. Our relationship was a beacon of hope, a reminder that love doesn't have to conform to societal norms to be meaningful and fulfilling. Looking back, I hope that my story serves as a source of inspiration and understanding for others navigating the complexities of love and relationships. It's important to remember that love is not a finite resource. There's enough room in the heart for multiple forms of love, each unique and valid in its own right. If you find yourself in a situation where your emotions are pulling you in different directions, don't be afraid to seek guidance and support. Whether through professional counseling, trusted friends, or loved ones, reaching out can provide the clarity and strength needed to make difficult decisions. Our lives are a tapestry of interconnected relationships, each thread weaving its own story of love, loss, and growth. Embracing the fluidity of love allows us to discover new dimensions of ourselves and the people around us. While the path may be fraught with challenges, it also holds the promise of profound connection and authentic happiness. As I stand in my garden, watching the flowers bloom under Elena's tender care, I am filled with gratitude for the journey I've undertaken. The past year has been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless capacity of the heart to love in all its forms. Clara Thompson's journey through love and self-discovery offers a profound case study in the complexities of human relationships and the pursuit of personal happiness. As a professional psychologist specializing in relationship dynamics and alternative love models, I can provide a comprehensive analysis of her experiences and offer recommendations for individuals navigating similar emotional landscapes. Clara's initial attempt to balance her love for her husband, Daniel, with her growing attraction to her neighbor, Ethan, highlights the inherent challenges of polyamorous relationships. Her desire to maintain harmony within a trio, while simultaneously grappling with her own emotional needs, created a fragile equilibrium that was difficult to sustain. Dual attachment. Clara was deeply attached to both Daniel and Ethan, each representing different facets of her emotional and psychological needs. Daniel embodied stability and reliability, while Ethan offered excitement and a sense of creative fulfillment. Emotional conflict. The simultaneous love for two individuals created internal conflict, making it difficult for Clara to prioritize her feelings and make definitive choices. This conflict was exacerbated by the societal expectations of monogamous relationships. Boundary management. The lack of clear boundaries and open communication among all parties contributed to misunderstandings and resentment. Clara's struggle to articulate her feelings and needs further complicated the situation. Polyamorous relationships, while offering the potential for expanded emotional connections, come with unique challenges that require careful navigation. Communication. Effective communication is paramount in polyamorous arrangements. All parties must feel comfortable expressing their emotions, needs, and concerns openly and honestly. Jealousy and insecurity. These emotions are natural and can arise even in the most well-intentioned relationships. Addressing them requires self-awareness and mutual support. Time management. Balancing time and attention among multiple partners can be demanding, leading to feelings of neglect or favoritism if not managed thoughtfully. Social stigma. Societal norms often do not recognize polyamorous relationships, leading to external pressures and misunderstandings that can strain the relationship further. Clara's eventual decision to leave the trio and pursue a relationship with Elena was a pivotal moment of self-empowerment and authenticity. This choice allowed her to align her actions with her true desires, leading to personal growth and emotional fulfillment. Self-compassion. Clara's journey underscores the importance of self-compassion. Acknowledging her own needs and allowing herself to pursue happiness without guilt was crucial in her path to healing. Personal growth. The challenges Clara faced facilitated significant personal growth. She learned to navigate complex emotions, set healthy boundaries, and prioritize her well-being. Authenticity. Embracing her true self and her authentic desires led Clara to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. This authenticity is essential for long-term happiness and emotional resilience. For individuals finding themselves in similar complex relationship dynamics, the following recommendations can help navigate the emotional challenges. Seek professional guidance. Consulting with a psychologist or relationship counselor can provide valuable insights and strategies for managing complex emotions and relationship dynamics. Establish clear boundaries. Defining and respecting boundaries is essential in any relationship, especially in polyamorous arrangements. Clear boundaries help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that all parties feel respected and valued. Foster open communication. Encourage open and honest dialogue about feelings, needs, and concerns. Regular check-ins can help address issues before they escalate. Embrace self-discovery. Take time to explore and understand your own emotions and desires. Self-awareness is key to making informed and authentic decisions about your relationships. Prioritize emotional well-being. Ensure that your relationships contribute positively to your emotional health. It's important to recognize when a relationship dynamic is causing more harm than good and to take steps to address it. Build a support network. Surround yourself with supportive friends and loved ones who understand and respect your relationship choices. A strong support network can provide emotional backing and practical advice. Clara's story is a compelling exploration of love's multifaceted nature and the courage required to pursue authentic happiness. It highlights the importance of self-awareness, open communication, and the willingness to embrace change in the quest for fulfilling relationships. By understanding and addressing the emotional complexities inherent in polyamorous arrangements, individuals can navigate their relationships with greater clarity and resilience, ultimately finding joy and fulfillment in their unique expressions of love.